Here, back with another one. This time we got Beth's father versus son moments in anime, volume 2 by VinnyTube. Make sure y'all like the video, comment, subscribe. And yeah, let's get into it.
That you loved father v son battles, then why not have a follow-up to that? I know it wasn't too long ago, but I feel that you'll enjoy some more moments that employ that special father and son dynamic, so here we go. But before we start off the list, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors of this video, Tappytoon. Tappytoon, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is a webcomic website that provides you with the latest updates on some smash hit Korean series like Solo Leveling and Cherry Blossoms After Winter. With you want to get Castlevania once more as we take a look at Alucard's battle against Dracula.
Hit me up. Dang.
In a series full of thrilling fights, we get yet another winner in this father versus son battle. It's a battle between two titans, and it didn't disappoint one bit. The fight itself was good, but the fallout and the revelations that came out of it are what made this fight really cool for me. I'm sure I'm not the only one who felt a whole lot of feels at the heartbreaking scene at the end of the battle. It's such a strong moment packaged within an insane fight to keep us on the edge of our seats. Take note though, at this point, Dracula is just a shell of himself. He hasn't fed in a whole year, he just came from another fight, and he himself wanted to die. And yet, it still took going through a lot of hoops to finally give him his much desired death. Imagine prime Dracula here. No one would even stand a chance.
Man was blocking. Oh, he going through it. Man was blocking. Both hands full. He's like, fire to the face. He's like, oh, come on. You a dick for that.
Shura.
Oh, yeah. In the second tournament.
Last time, we had a fight from Yu Yu Hakusho's Three Kings arc. Guess what? It's not the only father versus son fight in that very same arc. That specific arc also gave us another father versus son battle, which features Shura versus Yomi. When the two got paired together in the tournament, it would seem that Yomi would have a cakewalk to the next round. After all, Shura's whole origin story is about him being created so that Yomi would have an easier time winning the tournament. But what happens when the dog bites back? A surprisingly exciting fight, that's what. Despite his entire reason for existing, Shura refuses to back down and even puts up a better fight than I expected. Of course though, he would fall to his father in the end, but that plucky showing deserves some kudos if you were to ask me.
Doesn't he, if I'm remembering this wrong, doesn't he not use his eyes because he's too strong? Like, don't he just keep them closed? Or is it like he lost his eyesight? It's been so long since I watched Yu Yu Hakusho. It's either he keeps his eyes closed because he's too strong, or he lost his eyesight because something in his past happened and, like, caused him to go blind. But he's still strong as hell without it.
This versus Demon King.
Dang, I still have not finished this season of 7 Deadly Sins.
It took a long time.
I binge watched the whole season up until the part where like Meliodas and like the episode after Meliodas and Sun nigga, what is his name? I don't know why I'm thinking Leorio. Escanor. Yeah, Escanor and Meliodas fought. I binge watched the entire season up until that point, like the episode after that, and then I was just like, I'm gonna come back to this tomorrow. Never came back. Still sitting on my Netflix. Just never came back.
For this fight. Ever since I started getting into 7 Deadly Sins, I always had the thought that this fight in particular would look awesome. Some people consider this one of the main highlights of Season 4, and I can see why. Everyone was so hyped that the fight was finally happening, and in it, we got a good old underdog versus humongous boss fight that we haven't seen too much as far as Meliodas is concerned. I also don't mind the friendship power victory because it's pretty much a shonen staple that I've grown to like. Given that we're talking about modern 7 Deadly Sins here, it's not much of a surprise to have some lapses in animation and all. The fight finds its way to the list through the story and narrative weight. It's one of Meliodas' most important fights in the series as a whole, and there's no one better to give it to him than his own father. In a change of pace, the next
Hold on, guys. My fault. Got a phone call, so I'm back in it.
Instead, it's the cooking showdown between Soma and Joichiro. Now we're talking. Who said that we can only include physical fights where father and son try to beat each other down? Soma versus Joichiro for the 490th time marks an important part of the Totsuki Autumn Election arc. It's the long-awaited return of Soma's father after his initial appearance, and he's just the perfect person to come out and test his son's progress. It's an intense cooking duel that pits Soma's apple risotto against his father's special ramen. Soma
Apple
couldn't have
risotto?
picked a
Oh my
complex
God.
dish to use as his trump card against his father, but he executes his plans to perfection, crafting a dish meant to revitalize the judges. In the end, Joichiro wins, and Soma has yet to surpass his father. Looks like it's not yet time for our upstart to overcome his dad, but it's just the start of the journey of improvement. Next is yet another moment lacking in physicality. Lelouch versus Charles from Code Geass. Geass really had a great build-up for the climax. Each episode ramped the stakes up, and everyone was caught under the spell of the show as it moved towards the end. Episodes 20 and 21 hit me particularly hard, and is largely due to the tension in the final confrontation between Lelouch and Charles. It's truly the tension and the catharsis that carried this moment, because admittedly, I don't consider it much of a duel. Yeah, you could argue that Charles had his chance to win and all, but once the plans for Ragnarok gets revealed, it's all over for our tyrant emperor. Lelouch empathically says goodbye to the future Charles envisions by turning the gods against him. Seeing Charles and Marianne get disintegrated did give me mixed emotions, to be honest. Still, I think that what makes this moment is amazing isn't the spectacle itself, but how well it captured the two sides' convictions. It also put Lelouch's character development near its completion right in time for the series' grand finale. Anyone got a sense of deja vu? Because I featured this fight on a previous list not too long ago. For such an underwatched show, the Dragon Quest anime is awesome, especially if you're a shonen junkie who just loves to reminisce about the good old days. As I said before, this fight just reeks of Dragon Ball Super vibes. What I failed to mention before though, is that this is a father versus son fight, and it's one that's simply on point. The action is great, the animation is awesome, and the pacing is just perfect. All you have to do is watch the fight to see the Dragon Ball vibes that I'm talking about. However, this fight is no slouch even when put aside those Dragon Ball fights that I've been referencing throughout this entry. This fight just exceeded all of my expectations for the anime, and I'm sure glad that I picked the show up. Finally, we have Trunks versus Vegeta.
That Dragon Ball Super arc was very good.
For all the talk I've been doing about Dragon Ball, it's about time we actually feature a fight from the show now, isn't it? Luckily, in a franchise with history as rich as Dragon Ball, we have a whole gallery of fights to choose from. For me, the one I'll give a nod to turns out to be Vegeta versus future Trunks from Dragon Ball Super. What's interesting about this fight is that it's not exactly a grudge match or a fight to the death, although I won't blame you if you were to think that it was, given the level of intensity the two went at it. Trunks wants a sparring session, and all he needs to win is to land a hit on his father, a hit that seems to be impossible to land as his father starts lecturing him. However, that leads to a surprise headbutt and a win for Trunks out of technicality. It's a nice refresher, a pit stop that serves as Trunks' mini training arc in his bid to defeat Goku Black. Father and son sure don't hold back.
I mean, that is the closest thing to a father he's really had since his original Vegeta.
That more or less wraps up this video on father versus son moments.
But I mean, shoot, it's still father versus son. It is technically more like father from another dimension. You know what I mean? Y'all seen Super? Don't worry about it. All right. Hope y'all enjoy. I got some real life stuff to deal with. So yeah, I'm out.